There you go.
Yeah.
Gotta make the
Welcome.
duck lips.
Welcome to another fun-filled episode of the Tucker and the Beard podcast.
Hat tip.
And you're right. I jinxed it last week.
I told you not to say it.
I'll take full responsibility for the continued lockdown. You have my apologies, the American people.
Yeah.
It was all my fault. I could have done something to avoid it, and I didn't. And I'll never.
You just fed right into it. You're just like, yep, we're gonna be back in the studio. We're gonna be back in the office next week. And I was like, don't say it. We're not. Yeah. We're just gonna be doing our thing.
So we're back on Zoom, which is fine. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's better than not being able to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, just sitting there working, kind of doing the same thing. I guess things are going to start opening up slowly but surely, but
at least in Arizona, what did I see? Barbershops with limited capacity are going to be opening up this weekend. Some other stuff is going to be opening up. Retail is going to be opening back up. So we're going to start seeing a trickle effect.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it'll be good. It'll be good getting back to somewhat normal. I don't know.
Yeah, and just having again just something a little bit more. It's not going to be full normal. I don't think anyone, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
I don't think anyone expects just that we flip a switch and everything just is the same as it was 2 months ago.
I think people that are expecting it to just go back to normal they need to think about it a little bit. So I think it'll get somewhat back to normal, but I think we're not really going to get back to the way it was. It's going to be this way for a while.
Yeah, things are gonna, things like swimming pools, gyms, that kind of stuff are not opening up quite yet. So, but they're doing some limited capacity sit-down restaurant seating, which I think is great for our restaurant business that I know is one of the hardest hit.
Right.
And even got an email just yesterday from our church where they're kind of trying to still figure this whole thing out. Our Attorney General for the state of Arizona last week kind of made a statement saying churches could have, I guess, kept meeting the whole time. Obviously, none of the church leaders, or at least none that I know, want to be responsible for continuing, to potentially put people's lives in danger. So I think they shut down for good reason. But I know we're looking forward to getting back. But at least the church that I attend, I know that they are still trying to figure out exactly what that's going to look like.
A lot of them are
outside services potentially to allow for some more distance, or just going to a lot more services and admitting fewer people into the building at the same time. So there's a lot of logistics going on. I think patience and compassion are going to go a long way from everybody's point of view.
Yeah, definitely. I think people are just going to have to kind of figure it out as we go. I know I talked to you the other day and it was, and we know how we both feel about, opening everything back up and, we are all in favor of it. But I think the people that are, there's some people that I've seen that are just ridiculously mad, like it's putting them out, it's against them. They're angry about it. And it's just kind of like, all right, let's take a clean breath and just, try and help each other figure this out.
And it is affecting our line of work to an extent. I was just looking at numbers, not to get too advertising here, but tell you what, it's still a good time to sell a house here in Arizona.
Seriously.
I was looking at overall listings. We've got over less than 1,000 in general homes for sale in the entire Prescott area right now, which I've never seen numbers that low. My uncle, who is a big realtor over there in the Lake Havasu City area, their MLS has like less than 400 listings on the market. It's a much smaller area than ours, but still
Right.
less than 400 is like, it's a drought of
Yeah, no,
descriptions.
I got to talk to him today. That was a fun phone call because I got to introduce myself, just be like, hey, it's Tucker of Tucker and the Beer Fame.
What's up? It's Tucker. You should
What's up?
know who I am.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even give him my first name at any point. It's just, hey, it's Tucker of Tucker and the Beard. But he did know who I was, so we got at least one follower.
There we go. Doesn't hurt that, you know, his family. So, but hey,
Don't burst my bubble now.
But I mean, in some ways, I haven't enjoyed not working as much. Obviously,
Right.
I don't think anybody
Right.
whose business has been affected by this whole thing is excited about that. But I have enjoyed spending more time at home with the kids, you know, and just kind of digging into some hobbies that I've got. I think we've gone kayaking 3 times in the last week.
Oh yeah, we've been doing, you know, a lot of outside stuff. I posted the other day, my son and I built my Jeep, the Tucker Mobile, out of Legos, which was super cool. So yeah, that was fun.
I mean,
but
check this out. I don't know how well it shows on camera, but
your watch?
My watch tan line is pretty impressive right now.
Okay.
It usually doesn't get quite that stark of a contrast until much later in the summer.
Yeah.
It's been fun to just get outside. It's starting to warm up quite a bit, so you know, it's been fun to get outside. The lakes have been pleasant to go paddle around on.
Yeah.
The water's not too cold and the air's not too hot, so it's kind of the perfect time of year for it.
It's like the perfect date, April 25th.
Well,
not too cold.
Light jacket.
Yeah, light jacket, a cardigan, if you will. But yeah, no, I saw the other day that the local lakes here were packed.
Dude, so when we've gone twice on weekdays.
Mm-hmm.
We went out for my mother's birthday was April 29th. Happy birthday, late Mama Beard. And that was on a Wednesday, I believe. That sounds accurate. And it was pretty sparse, but we had gone on the Sunday previous to that. And at the lake that we went to, I can tell you this much: there was every inch of available flat shoreline.
Right.
Had, you know, there were encampments of people, you know, who all had the same idea at the same time. There was a lot of you know, very little parking to be had. And I've seen things, you know, over in Sedona too, where, you know, I mean, they're just lining the roads because they've actually shut down the parking areas. And people are parking on the roads and playing in the water anyway. Because over there, I mean, it's been in the mid 90s for 2 weeks, you know.
Weather's awesome. But that's one of the cool things about being where we are, is that there's so much stuff to do outside and everything to kind of get out of the house a little bit without being too crazy. But everybody tends to have the same idea. So
I can say this: even though there was a lot of people at the lake that day, there was still people were still keeping their distance from each other.
Yeah.
And while that's a good thing, it still makes me sad a little bit to have to do it. Like, I understand, but you know, I'm personally longing for that opportunity to just get back and be able to talk to new people, you know, without having to worry about any nonsense.
Yeah. Maybe I have the look when, you know, I'm out and about or whatever, that, you know, I guess I have the face of people not wanting to come talk to me. So, you know, I'm okay.
When you're at the lake, it's a whole different thing. Like, I don't know. People just, you know, people are just happier when they're at the lake. Right. You know, yeah, exactly. If I have to go to the grocery store, I don't have to worry about anybody wanting to chat. Unless I run into you somehow. But
which tends to happen every once in a while. We end up in the same place at the same time. So
but for the most part, yeah, people are just kind of minding their own business, keeping their head down and doing what they're doing.
yeah. So yeah, no, it's been good. Got new streaming stuff. Well, today is the 5th of May.
It's the Revenge
Yesterday
of the
was
Fifth.
Star Wars Day. People that don't know me know that I'm quite the Star Wars fan.
Are you now?
Yeah. Somebody had recommended that I should go through my Star Wars collection. I'm like, listen, we don't have that much time. Like, there's too much stuff.
Yeah, you have quite a few things. No, my son was super excited because Disney yesterday for Star Wars Day released the final installment of the Skywalker saga on their streaming platform. And I think he claims that he woke up at like 1 or 2 in the morning just to watch it, like as soon as it was available.
I can't be mad at that. It's Star Wars.
And then as soon as he got out of bed, he was trying to watch it again. And then we went kayaking yesterday, and he wanted to watch it as soon as we got home. So he was super pumped to be able to watch that new one. And it was funny. I had to explain to him this morning because he finished all of the Clone Wars.
That's awesome.
Show.
Right.
He's like, it left me on such a cliffhanger. How could they do that? And I go, if you feel like you were left on a cliffhanger, simply watch Revenge of the Sith. And then,
here you go.
And it resolves itself.
Right. What happened? Here's what happened.
So,
but
I mean,
talking about that Clone Wars thing. That's on my bucket list of things to sit down and like start at the beginning, and actually watch, because they just finished it, and I think the final episode of that series came out yesterday.
Came out yesterday.
But there was to go Star Wars geeky here for half a second. The character of Darth Maul ended up having a huge lightsaber fight with one of the main characters, and Ray Park, who was Darth Maul in Phantom Menace, came back and filmed motion capture for that scene.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, which I geeked out hard just hearing about that, and was like, he's back. And so it was kind of an aged Darth Maul, and I saw some of the behind the scenes stuff, which was super cool. So, but yeah, they released some Mandalorian behind the scenes making of, and the last Star Wars movie.
Well, yeah, and now
you can watch all of them.
Yeah, and we also got the news about a new Star Wars movie that hasn't been even written yet.
Yep,
So it was a big day yesterday.
Yeah, big Star Wars day. There's a couple of directors that were selected. I don't know the other one, and I can't pronounce this other one. I'll let you do it. But what is it?
Taika Waititi.
There it is. He was selected to write and direct a new Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Well, and we got some more details on the Jon Favreau-led second season of The Mandalorian.
Yep.
And I shouldn't say guarantee, but basically a promise of a third season as well.
Yep, they got that one selected. And then we got news of a new TV show that's going to be happening, a new TV series starring none other than the man, the myth, the legend, which is Nicolas Cage, in the Tiger King television series.
Yes. Nick Cage will star as Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic in the Tiger King series, which a lot of people were going Danny McBride or David Spade as top choices.
Either of those would have worked.
Been great.
David Spade, I mean, he's already kind of played that character, so I can see why they didn't, but I can also see why they would.
Right.
You know,
But then, like, the mythical creature that he is, that no one thought about once, not once came off anybody's lips as a recommendation to play Joe Exotic. And just like, oh, hey, remember when I was going to play Superman 2? Here I am, Joe Exotic. Yeah. Nicolas Cage has been in some great movies that I love, but he's been in a whole lot more horrible things.
Terrible movies.
Yeah, like I think the last one that I actually somewhat enjoyed was The Sorcerer's Apprentice. That was a good little flick, but everything after that, I don't think I've seen a Nicolas Cage movie since then.
But there is an endless amount of Nicolas Cage movies. If you just go to either Netflix or Hulu and in their search bar just type Nicolas Cage, and dude still pumps out somehow like 2-3 movies a year, it feels like, that no one ever hears about.
I think because Samuel L. Jackson, at least the last time I checked, held the record for being in the most movies. Like, Samuel L. Jackson was like, you want me to be in that movie? Sure, I'll do it.
Okay.
I think Nicolas Cage might be nipping at the heels, or at least, because, like you said, he's in some just movies constantly.
Yeah, I'm looking at this other article just regarding this to try and see if there's going to be if they've got any more of the casting out, because I think this could be
amazing.
Yeah.
Because in a way, like, because to the people,
we're all stuck at home, and listen, whoever you are, whatever your station in life is, chances are seeing Joe Exotic made you feel a little better about yourself.
Yeah,
like, again, I might be this, but I'm not that guy.
Right. It's not great cinema by any means, which is kind of perfect for Nicolas Cage.
The cinematography was okay. The editing was obviously clever, but as usual, the film
was a little over the top. But I think it's kind of perfect for Nicolas Cage in a weird way. So I'm super excited about this.
Yeah.
Zoo owner that, it just gets like the weirdest character study ever. And if anybody's going to get into it, it'll be Nicolas Cage. If not that, then Tom Cruise was probably busy. Because, he gets into his roles. But I think Nicolas Cage is a good choice in a weird way.
I think so too. I'm cruising over to IMDb to see if they have any other casting announcements.
Yeah, so this could be his Pulp Fiction, like John Travolta's Pulp Fiction, where it made his career come back before it left again.
Yeah.
So John Travolta's career has been the roller coaster of roller coasters.
Yeah.
When he was in Face Off with Nicolas Cage, segue back to Nicolas Cage. You're welcome.
Nicolas Cage, because at this point, can we stop playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon and start doing like 3 Degrees of Nicolas Cage?
It's got to be something like that. Because, it's ridiculous. But in the best way ever. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, me too. I think it'll be very, very interesting.
Yeah. No surprise that we have a lot of movies being pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel has pushed all their stuff back. John Wick 4 got pushed back. So
yeah, Black Widow is currently tentatively scheduled for a November release. On the Disney line, their live action of Mulan got pushed back to maybe July.
Okay.
Just again, I think all of these dates are going to be fluid.
Right.
You know, I know that I was planning on going to a concert later in the summer that almost certainly at this point won't happen this year.
Yeah. I don't know how to break this to you. Probably not.
You know, so I'm hoping, honestly, what I'm hoping is that they just reschedule.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I've never wanted a refund to show up in my checking account less
right.
than I have with this situation. Like, I'm hoping that I'll just get an email saying, hey, it's been rescheduled for this date, and it's still something that I can look forward to, as opposed to just wondering. I think you were sitting there that day when I was trying to get the tickets, or maybe we were just on the phone, but just what I had to go through to get those tickets was kind of ridiculous.
Right.
So I'd rather not have to repeat that.
Right.
At a later point in time.
No, I hear you. So I think it's going to be a whole lot of people figuring out how to get back to that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just throwing my hands in the air
and say, hey-o, gotta let go.
Like I just don't care. So, but yeah, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a weird, wild world that we live in. Yeah. And I think as we all seek to return to something resembling normal, mm-hmm. I totally understand that there are still a lot of people who are very afraid of what's going on. And so,
And I think it's equally to say the people that are just not afraid and are ready to go back to hanging out, partying, and everything like that is equally concerning.
I think there's plenty of people who would go to Coachella next weekend if it were announced.
Right. And that's my concern. I think we talked about that of just, I think it should be open up to, smaller things and stores open back up, but concerts or things with large groups of people or something that also, is like, all right, I think that's a bad idea. But
well, and even
I'm not the governor today.
Yeah. Even movie theaters.
Yeah.
They're going to have to kind of figure out, I miss going to the gym. It had become a very ritualistic part of my morning every morning. And,
right.
I miss that thing, I miss my routine.
Yeah.
More than anything.
No, I get it.
Is the thing.
I'm ready to get back to the office and kind of get back into the swing of things.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot more to talk about today.
No. So yeah, me neither. It's one of those days. But tomorrow's, yeah.
What were you saying?
I was going to say, tomorrow is Revenge of the 6th, but that was just my dumb Star Wars joke.
Well, today is Revenge of the 5th.
Well, yeah, but you got to have something in between. There's no Attack of the 5th or something.
I guess. It is Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday on the same day. So taco lovers of the world unite.
I know. I might have to give myself a taco, but
anyway, can you hang on for a second? I think I hear something coming from another room. So
I heard it too. I don't know if it's coming from here. I'll check my end.
Yeah.
Check my end of things. I don't know what it was.
Weird.
Yeah.
Guess it was nothing.
Cool, man.
All right. Well, that's it for us, everybody. Thanks for tuning in yet again. And we'll see you next week. But until then, he's Tucker.
He's Beard.
And we're out.